In this video, I want to share with you and teach you a very powerful, practical exercise that you can do right now to be able to design a lifestyle that helps you to finish 2026 strong. Hey, my name is Hedi Shah. I am a mindfulness teacher and a body worker, and I support people to uncondition themselves from patterns that keep them stuck and in pain through nervous system regulation, breath work, and posture focused strength training. We live in a world that bombards us with all the things we should be doing and we should want to be doing. This is so loud that we can't even hear ourselves think and identify what do we actually want. And without knowing what we want, we're constantly moving through resistance. Why? Because when I tell you that you should be doing that, you should want to be doing that, automatically there's this resistance into it, right? Like there's this built-in reaction in our system that we don't want to do this. I go very deep into this topic in this video and give you a somatic exercise to be able to process that. I think identifying where we're shoulding ourselves, it's really, really important. And I find this exercise to be particularly effective, and I've had done this with so many of my clients, and every time it has proven to be extremely effective because of this. Because you can actually get to what you want. Get clear on what satisfies you, what moves the needle forward for you. And I know there are so many videos on defining your why, defining your vision, and all of that stuff. And I created videos on vision here, which is really important. And also it's important to note that this is not another video to turn you into a routine worshiper, because we've got enough of that, right? If you're just clicking in, clicking out, and being a robot, there's no life to live in that, because we can turn the things that meant to be satisfying into another thing that we need to be doing or we should be doing, which there is no receivership in that. We cannot receive what we're actually doing for ourselves and actually enjoying that. So here's the exercise. I want you to think about the life that you want to design. Hopefully you already know what that is. If not, perhaps watch my other video around your vision for life, because that's important for you to be clear on that. So let's say you already know, maybe you want to get into a workout routine, or you want to take care of your health. I use this example repeatedly because it's something that I've helped people with a lot. And also it's very tangible and it can be transferable to any other things in life as well. So let's say you want to get back into an exercise routine and you haven't done that. You haven't been taking care of yourself. You've been going with the flow, but you're feeling the itch to get back into a routine. So my first question for you is, what is the bare minimum routine that you can commit to right now? What is it? People really resist this because we prefer to have this wild plan that we never reach than having something so insignificant that we are able to achieve, all right? So what is the bare minimum for you? I typically say to my clients to start with 15-minute movement a day. I don't care what kind of movement that is. It can be a 15-minute walk. It can be a 15-minute movement in front of your favorite TV show. It can be 15 minutes of shaking, 15 minutes of lying down on your mat and just breathing. So what is the bare minimum for you? And then maybe if you're thinking about this as a whole package for your health, maybe you could think about, I want to drink 1 glass of water in the morning. And that will be your bare minimum. I literally had a client saying that me brushing my teeth in the morning is my bare minimum. Right? You can say getting dressed in the morning is my bare minimum. So define what your bare minimum is. Maybe 2 to 3, maximum 3 pointers as your bare minimum. So you can always pause this video and write it down. And then the second tier, and I see them as tiers, right? We talked about the bare minimum, and then now we want to talk about the satisfactory routine. What would make you satisfied? What would you be like at the end of the day? Be like, oh wow, I've done it. Oh wow, I'm really happy about that. Oh wow, I'm proud of myself for doing that. Define your enoughness, because satisfaction, we can only be satisfied when we feel that this thing is enough for us. When I've done this, it's enough for me. I am content with that, right? What is your level of satisfactory here? Maybe you do a walk and a 15-minute movement practice, and maybe have one healthy meal a day. So what is that satisfactory routine for you? Or it can be, I do batch cooking for the week, like maybe 3 or 4 meals. So what is it that makes you feel satisfied? Define your satisfactory level of routine, because otherwise the amount of information that is out there is going to devour you, and you always will be on the hunt to do more, because there's always another meditation to do, another workout to explore, another thing to do, another thing to put on your to-do list, right? What would make you satisfied? What do you define as enough? And the way I see this, you probably have seen these videos going around on YouTube a lot. How can we romanticize our life? You may watch someone get dressed for their workout in the morning and you feel really inspired and like touched by it. You want to do that. You want to almost, there's this craving in you that you want to be able to do that. And those videos typically tend to be really, really inspiring. And so many of us enjoy watching them. Why? Because we see how they're putting the rep in, they're creating that. So when I think about the satisfactory level of your routine, it's, if you were to romanticize your life, what does that satisfactory routine look like for you? Maybe it's as simple as you getting dressed for your workout routine, right? I started going to the gym again because I've been training at home, and I need to get dressed as I go, because otherwise when I work out at home, I would just stay in the same clothes, work out, and then wash those clothes, right? This on its own created a ritual, and can I see myself getting dressed to go and work out? Right? Can I see myself and experience myself as I'm listening to my playlist and working out? Or can I enjoy myself creating a playlist for my workouts? You see where I'm going with this? How can you make this experience a satisfactory experience? Because your satisfaction is the priority. Otherwise, this thing wouldn't work. So before you go to the next step that I'm about to share, make sure that you really sit with this, because so many of us have lost that ability to enjoy ourselves in the process. And I feel like the system that we live in continuously perpetuates this feeling of not enoughness and takes away and steals away this ability for us to actually enjoy ourselves as we are designing and taking steps in towards the goal or the lifestyle that we want to create for ourselves. Now we're going to the third point. The third point is, what is your ideal routine? If you were to wave a magic wand and be like, I can't believe I've done that. I can't believe I am that person, because there's this almost disconnect between who you are and what you think can be possible, like or probably like what you think cannot be possible. You almost don't see yourself doing that. But this is your opportunity to give yourself a chance to dream. Give yourself a chance to be out of your mind, and that's okay. You know, like we've been told that we are not allowed to dream because we are so incapable and we can't change and we can't shift our identity, and this is too much pressure and we shouldn't be doing that. I get it. This is not for you to take actions towards. This is for you to just give yourself the luxury of dreaming an ideal lifestyle. You may be a mom and you have no capacity to have this ideal routine that you're creating or envisioning, and that's okay. So we just want to brave the idea of giving ourselves a chance to dream. And so many of us don't do that anymore. We don't dare to dream because we say, oh, that's not possible. So we need to be educated. We need to be reasonable. We need to be realistic. And I always think about this song with Queen Herbie, The Fool, that says, at the beginning of the song, it says, that's not possible. And she says, not for you, unwhimsical bitch. And that always makes me laugh. And I'm like, yeah, so many of us are not like that anymore. And we think where we are right now, it's a fixed point in time. But your life will change. Your kids will grow up. Your career will change. You may have more flexibility. Just imagine the ideal lifestyle, the ideal routine that you want. And when you've got all of these written down, you really took note, you've gotten yourself clear. And sometimes we're so cluttered with the shoulds and should want narratives that we don't even know what that is. We don't know what our bare minimum is. We don't know what our satisfactory level of lifestyle is. We don't know what our ideal lifestyle is. Give yourself time and space to sit with it and to let it come to you. As I'm editing this video, I feel the need to add a couple of pointers here. So I want you to make sure that when you have these 3 layers mentioned and written down and got super clear on, give yourself a week as prep for this. Like whatever that means for you. Maybe it's you getting excited, maybe choosing your playlist, maybe you're creating your outfit layers, or maybe you're setting up your space, giving yourself an opportunity to get excited about it. And then start by committing to your bare minimum. Your bare minimum helps you start moving. I always see them as a lubricant and an opportunity to make it easy for you to move forward with small tasks and small things that matter to you. And then what happens is typically you start feeling motivated. You want to do more. And that's your invitation to want to add new layers to this from your satisfactory list. I wouldn't rush this process. Take your time with it. It's really important to make the bare minimum in a way that is easy for you to commit to. And then slowly add new layers from the satisfactory list. And when you feel like you're at a point that you're more satisfied with this, you can keep going. Or you could revisit your ideal self. But what I'm talking about is not an ideal self that you're pursuing necessarily, but allowing your brain to have a direction to go towards, and then also being able to have something to fall back on. What do I mean by that? Maybe like you've gotten into that satisfactory level and you're really enjoying yourself, but then suddenly you go on a trip and everything falls apart, or like your kid gets sick and you are not able to do that, or like something happens, life does lifing and you're not able to maintain the satisfactory level, but you have the bare minimum that you can show up to. And this is not like a fixed linear path. Like you're constantly going through this loop, and you get to a point that you may get to a point that your ideal self now is your baseline, right? So start with wherever you are. So don't overcomplicate this. Like I said, like a client said, brushing my teeth is enough. Like maybe you're in a rock bottom right now. Maybe you're in a rut phase. So that's okay. So make it extremely simple for yourself. Or you might be already having a really good routine, but there are things that you want to prioritize. So then maybe your minimum or your baseline, your bare minimum or your baseline is a little bit higher up than the previous example that I've given, right? So take it that way. A few things I'm going to finish this video with that I found extremely powerful for me and regulating for me. And that is taking notes of the things that you're doing. Create systems that is able to support you. What do I mean by that? Not create a habit tracker that you have to tick everything, but a system that is mobile enough, adaptable enough, but also allows you to check in with yourself, ideally daily. So I love Notion. I use Notion for my check-ins, and I love being able to create systems that is allowing me to see what I've done, because we live in this world that constantly tells us that we haven't done enough. Only if we worked harder, only if we've done more, XYZ would have happened, right? Or we would have been better. But I think sometimes it's helpful to see your track record, to see that you've actually done this. I was one of those people that I really resisted tracking my progress, whether it be logging my weight loads, like for every exercise that I've done, or be like, oh, what exercise I've done in this particular day. But I found that was the moment of me slowing down enough to notice that I actually have done this. And you'd be surprised if you don't actually do this daily, you don't remember what you've done 3 days ago. It's really easy to forget. And also, one thing that can be really helpful is thinking about a time back in the day that you actually enjoyed doing whatever that you think you're not enjoying anymore or you're not doing anymore. It can be maybe there was a period in your life that you really enjoyed working out. So what was about that was enjoyable? Who were you at the time that you were able to enjoy it? Right? And we go through phases that we are not enjoying certain things, and that's okay. We don't have capacity for it. But we can always use reference point of our own lives to be able to inspire ourselves again, to begin again. The other thing that is really important is create a menu for yourself to choose from. I feel like I've mentioned that quite a few times in this video, but this idea that you should be doing that is so limiting for our brain and our nervous system, because it has this feeling of external force rather than a choice. I always find having a choice to be extremely empowering. So creating a menu, for example, you want to do exercises, especially for women, because different phases of our cycle, we feel differently. I give you an example of my menu. So I do have a menu of strength training. Right now, I am in the phase of my life that I have prioritized strength training, and I'm really committing to build as much strength as I possibly can without having any injuries, and doing it in a way that feels empowering. Okay. I have a structure of training 3 times per week around strength, and the rest I typically do some form of a movement every day, because movement, friends, is a way of life. So I do have menus for other days, what I will be doing for other days. And this is really important, during my luteal phase, I don't want to feel strong for my strength training. So, and some days like this week, I have no capacity to do strength training, and I haven't trained for the past 3 days. And that's okay, because I design my training around my cycle. So during my ovulation phase, for that 2 weeks, I really go hard on my strength training. You know how? Even though I designed my program to 3 times per week, my strength training 3 times per week, what I do, I actually do more than 3 times per week. So what happens is the number of training, if you say a month is 4 weeks, so I'm supposed to be doing 12 sessions of strength training for a month, right? Is it? Yeah, 12. So then, because during that 2 weeks period when I have more energy, so I do more. So over the course of a month, I do the same amount of training, but I actually do it around the time that I have more capacity and energy for. And it's more beneficial for muscle building as well, because I do have more energy to push and constantly increase my load every single session. And then closer to my luteal phase and closer to my cycle, I really keep it chill. Like, for example, the past 3 days, I've been doing somatic dance every single day and a gentle walk, right? So think about it like that. I also have a menu of the exercises, the posture classes that I really love. I do have a menu of some people on YouTube that teach strength training that I sometimes, for the fun of it, I change it up and I move with other people. I do have a playlist of yoga with Adriene, the sessions that I really like. You can categorize them with different time, like maybe if you're committing to 15 minutes, so this is 15 minutes, like this is less than 15 minutes, this is 15 minutes to 30 minutes, this is 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and then depending on how you feel, you can choose accordingly. You see where I'm going with this? So you get to design the life that you actually want, and then knowing your bare minimum. So the bare minimum becomes your ground that you stand on, that you won't miss, but the rest you are working towards. You're allowing it for that to happen. And it's really important for our nervous system, for us to feel like we have choices and be able to exercise our choices. Let me know in the comment section down below, what are you working on right now? And what part of this video resonated with you the most? And if you're interested to know more about your body, make sure to check out Discover Your Body quiz down below. And I see you in the next video.